We're going to start off with BilldeGray. Man defense, offense, Route 66. He is a 2300. Let's get blue out. He is 2300. I don't know what rank the game is, but we're going to assume it's something like that. Let's look at the team comp real quick, even though it doesn't matter. They got 2 supports. That's fine. How would you upload a FOV into YouTube? I don't know.
2, 1.
So let's see how. First of all, gold gun, Changa skin. This is quality shit. So you haven't seen. Okay, this is the first time you've seen an enemy. Okay. It's better to take a couple pot shots than just than wall and run. Okay. So just first of all, your positioning, we can actually use this high ground view. You're not really going to get anything this way. Even your wall offs at best, I mean, they're going to cover the road and they can still get around it here and here. So just, there's not much you can get there. You should definitely be up here. And I know you guys, I don't think you have any tanks. I think you just have a roadhog. But up here, you can get your shots on. You can wall this off if they are terrorizing you from up here. But actually, this first corner is a little bit rough for Mei for wall. I don't know if it will cover this entire thing, or it'll be very close if it does. But yeah, so this entire first point, just bad positioning already. You're just too close. You didn't need to be that close. Mei's job, to talk about it very quickly, is to be a valve. And by that, I mean she controls the rate at which enemies come into combat. Mei, just by the nature of Mei, she does less damage, and so the team will be doing less damage. Like, yeah, okay, this is why you're going over there. If you're going to go in for like a melee freeze, if you don't want to go in for a freeze, then stay at range. Again, positioning. So you should just be sticking on the wall. Or not sticking on the wall, sticking on top of big Earls. And shooting from there. Now, if you want to deal with her, then yeah, you can go in, but the whole team's there. Now, this is where you should... Okay. I was going to say wall. Okay, yeah. It's an ally. Hey, you know the Pharaoh Mercy is up there, yeah. It's quite difficult to deal with that. As Mei. The Widow's dead. Maybe you can press up a little. Also, Mei's wall is really good for hooks. To save people from hooks and... Okay, that's good. She can fly, so I wouldn't have wasted time with that. But you got the 2 supports. That's great. There you go. Yeah, so... okay, that works. So So yeah, wall's good for saving people that have gotten hooked and to secure kills of people that did get hooked. So if your team hooks someone in, put a wall behind them. If your team's about to get hooked, wall in front of the hog, and you'll save your team member. That's some of the really good, like, quick uses for wall. Outside that, find a choke point and act as a valve for people that come in and out. So this is good. You stuck him out here alone, and now the only person that can save him is the D.Va. But, you know, the D.Va can save him. But still, the concept was good. Do I have diabetes? No. I was trying to hook 9 so we could finish him. Yep, I figured. Also, the big thing with walling someone that got hooked, meaning your team has hooked someone and now they're in there, they can't get Ana healed and they cannot get Zarya bubbled. Those are two really big things. That's perfect. No, that was good there. So as your wall comes on cooldown, or comes off cooldown, you definitely want to look for someone to section off from the team. So Mei looks to... You're there to punish people. And when someone makes a mistake, your job is to make sure they realize they made that mistake for a while. So if someone's out of position, you use a wall, and then they're stuck making that mistake for 5 extra seconds. Punch her. There you go. An Ice Cube does have a long cooldown. Just be wary of that. Okay, that was a good wall there.
My genius is finally recognized.
We got Serpent Ninja! Thank you for the subscription, man. That's a resub. I know that's a resub. So far, I've noticed that you essentially, maybe you play a little bit too close.
I'm sure there's a reasonable scientific explanation.
I would actually say that's probably your biggest issue, is playing too close. On the first and I guess the first part of this point. Man, that hog ult. So, yeah, you definitely want to get over there to help your team. Okay. There you go. Good. Even if D.Va does get away, it essentially sectioned off this Winston for a bit, and it made it so D.Va had to use some resources to get out.
All systems checked out.
But the thought is good. Yeah, that's good. Perfecting wall again. Yep. Yeah, that wasn't bad play. You need to get a little bit more damage so you can ult. Okay, perfect. Yep, touch. Okay. So you're, I think most people know this by now, that Mei's ultimate and her mouse 1 stack. So if you can get a spray on a couple people before the ult starts going off, that you can easily get multiple characters frozen. Actually, Mei struggles against multiple tanks. Your mouse 1 doesn't do like a terrible amount of damage, so wallet. Okay. So this isn't bad play. Mei has a hard time against a lot of tanks just because your freeze doesn't go through people, right? It only hits the front target. But she is good against tanks if they're alone or a diva that's, you know, highly dependent on defensive matrix. Okay. A little conservative with the ult, but it works. Good shot. By conservative, I mean, like, you threw it on the cart, which is great, because it covers a good part of the cart, but everyone was back a little bit farther. Yeah, I would have definitely thrown it more closer to the center of mass, because as soon as people hear your ult come out, they're already on the back foot. They're looking to run away. Yeah, so the way... Yeah, okay, so you didn't know about that, Billy? Yeah, you can definitely prep. You can get a couple freeze ticks off before using your ult. And tanks are free ult charge if they get frozen, but the problem is when you have a lot of tanks, like, she was up against 3 tanks there. You can freeze one, and then they have to, your team has to kill them, right? It does take time. And if the diva doesn't get frozen, then the person's doing a defensive matrix. You have to freeze the diva, but then the other tank's out of there with, you know, unhurt. So multiple tanks is actually rough. You can hear it. So already you can hear your person coughing. So there's a widow in the game, right? Someone hit a venom mine. You also know there's a junkrat. Yeah, and then your hog got shot. So just be wary of a widow at this point in time. Count to 5 and then go in. Oh. Would I say they're not using mouse 2 as much as they should? Yeah. When I say you're spending too much time close in, like, and I understand when, like, the point was under contention at the end in overtime, like, you do want to be on there freezing everyone. But for the first 2 points, definitely use your mouse 2 more than your mouse 1. Junkrats, yeah, since they're right next to you. This is good. That's how you want to section off someone. Now, your team didn't follow up on it, but that doesn't mean it was a bad idea. That's not... I'd say these are good tactics if your team could follow up on all this stuff. Again, your main job as Mei is to section off the team. Like this. Yes, that was perfect. This is what you want to do. Believe it or not, Mei, there are no stats for Mei that can show you, like, there's not a single stat to show you what a good Mei is. What are the chances of another one of your videos being reviewed? Not high. I actually went 2 weeks between videos. Okay, now this is time of... Okay, I was... Damn it. I was like, that would have been a perfect time to ult. Good job. When you're in this close, yeah, freeze. Her mouse 1 is essentially a timer. If you do not kill Mei within 2 seconds of her being next to you, you should be frozen and dead. Do I have an editor for my YouTube videos, or I do everything myself right now.
Aiming's overrated.
And that note about Mei's wall coming off cooldown faster if you break the wall, I don't think that's true. I think it's 10 seconds regardless of when you destroy it. If you destroy it sooner, you just get to see the timer sooner. If you let it go the entire way, you just see it at 5 seconds. Yeah, you see it's at 5 seconds. I'm pretty sure if you just use it and detonate it right away, it's not going to be 5 seconds. Yeah, actually, you can see it's at 5 seconds, and look, it's half full. Yeah, it's 10 seconds. Just destroying it shows you the timer quicker. Mei does have slight damage fall off. Yes, I believe she does. Yes. She's one of the few projectile-based classes that has fall off. Which I don't know why she does. Like, there you go. So you want to start getting the high ground right now, so you can wall off that choke point that everyone's coming out of. Like, don't worry about pushing the cart. Someone else can do that. At this point, you're a bit committed, though. Zarya is... This is the difficult things to fight with Mei. So Zarya resets the timer. There you go. That's the better play. So you can just run at them, but walling off their escape and like trying to confirm their death that way is the best. Torp does not have damage fall off. And I do believe, yeah, Tracer can one-shot Tracer if it's close enough. She does 70 damage, if I remember correctly. Apparently, you trapped them. You want to wall that top area. That's the shortcomings of Junkrat. That's just a lower level Junkrat not knowing he does 600 damage.
That could have gone.
If he waited like a second more, he could have got a lot of kills. It does 75 damage. Okay. So yeah, a headshot definitely one-shots Tracer. Okay. So I think you're doing well. Your targeting of wall at times is rough, but I think that comes with experience. There you go, that's a good ult. So essentially, why that ult was good is because it was directly on like the back lines, and it forces. So here's the thing. Try to go back. So if you ult the cart, it's basically, let's just say, it's gonna be close to like this, right? And all that happens is your team is back here, and they can come up to about this point. And if they have anyone here, they're all just going to escape backwards and still hold from right here, and right here, and right here, and right here. So ulting directly on the cart, I actually see is not good. What you want to do is you want to ult behind the cart. And what this does is it forces them super far back if they do want to try to defend from back there. If they don't want to be there, they have to go forward, which is into your team. Which is great. Like, you've sealed off their escape route. If there's anyone back here, you've split them off from the front. So yeah, it's a zoning type skill, so definitely zone with it. Now, I'm not saying if there's 6 people on the cart, don't throw it on the cart, but when someone has an established defense and they have people, you know, multiple places, then definitely split that up if possible. The resurrection? There is. So here you're actually mouse 2ing too much. If you're in range, just freeze someone. Yeah, you definitely need to stick to one or the other. There you go. I think that's safe. I think that wall actually saved some of your team. What the hell? Okay, now you ult the cart. And Zarya used all her bubbles. That should be game after this Reinhardt dies. There you go. Okay. So yeah, you're a little bit rough on choosing what range you wish to commit at. You get play of the game. Let's say you get play of the game. You don't get the game. You know what? Fuck it. We're not gonna watch that. I need my picture. Okay. So, action. This is actually, I think, where an actual big part of your issue's at. So, I know when you're close range, it seems it is easier to hit people. But remember, if it's a target you can't kill, and essentially, I would just say 200 hit, only 200 hit point targets to freeze and kill. Let's say if it's a non-200 hit point target and you're close to him, I would definitely freeze him so your allies can come and help. With lower health targets, or maybe a bit of a higher priority target like the Mercy, even then with the Mercy you want to freeze her. If you're close in, use your close tools. So learn to use the tool. Jesus Christ, my handwriting. Ah! we'll just say the correct tool for the range. So on point 1, you were trying to be too close, and you're trying to freeze people too much. You could have sat back, like use your distance. You have fall off, but I'm pretty sure it's not that bad. I see the storms. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what the exact meter is. Maybe it's 15 meters? We'd have to look for it. But yeah, definitely use the right tool for the job. So if you're in close, use your mouse 1, freeze them, and confirm their death. Like, just make them die. If you're farther back, use your mouse 2. And don't feel like you have to commit to any range. Right? It seems like, I think this is a low SR issue, where you feel like you have to do everything. Right? You feel like you have to push the cart, and then you have to, like, wall off the threats, and you have to freeze everything, and it feels like you want to do everything yourself. But, like, on point 2, you could have taken the high route and then walled off the choke point above where you capped the point, right? There's that little cave right here. You could have gotten the high ground so you could wall this off, but you stayed on the cart pushing it. Your team members could have definitely pushed that, and you could have just walked up the staircase, you know, went through the house, and walled it off from up here. You know, just wall this off. These are definitely things you should be looking to do. Don't worry so much about doing everything yourself. Yeah. So do that. Allow your team to do what they need to, and then to allow yourself to do what you need to. Because stopping the entire team from coming onto that point is more important than anything else. Use the correct tool for the range. And it seemed like defending the cart, you were very, you're the first person to jump on top of it too. That's not, it can be your job, but it's not your job. If you have to stall, make and stall, but at the same time, you shouldn't be giving up the high ground to jump on top of the cart to defend it. You can stay back a little bit, and staying back, here's the thing, staying back more will allow you to get a better wall. Fall off starts at 20 meters. Okay, so that's actually significant. 20 meters is actually pretty far. Yeah. So you're positioning. You're too forward. Right, don't be forward with May. May's a shy girl. May is not a girl that would be too forward. So don't be too forward. And secure high, and this works for every class. Favor the high ground. And these kind of go in hand. When you're on the high ground, this is just a terrible picture. When you're on the high ground, you have a lot easier way of walling right exactly where you need. Right? And that way you can suction off people from their team. The other way, of course, is like being on the low ground right around the corner and just waiting for one person to come by, and one or two people, and then just walling them off. High ground with Tracer doesn't feel very, very valuable. Tracer's a different case, but Tracer still favors... I don't want to say favors. She can still utilize high ground, because high ground is not just... We've discussed this, people. We've discussed it over and over and over. High ground is about... The most important thing high ground gives you is information. As in, you hide your hand, they can't see what you're doing, and you can see all of theirs. That's number one what high ground is good for. Now, Tracer can use that. And also gives you options, meaning Tracer can drop off the high ground on anyone at any time. At any position, right? That's what the high ground is favorable for, and that's why Tracer still favors the high ground. Zarya's on the high ground too. Yeah, Zarya has actually pretty good range with all her shit. Because high ground, what high ground favors is options and information. Every class needs it. It's good for every class.
Aiming's overrated.
So yeah, so I would tell you, don't be so forward, don't be so far on the cart, and this will make your walls better. Your logistics, I consider this decision-making and skill usage, as well as getting to where you need to be. And you were just jumping on the cart. Technically, favorite high ground should probably be here. Get to the high ground. But your skill usage was pretty spot on. Be wary of the ice cube. I think it's a 16-second cooldown, if memory serves me correct. It's actually longer than you think. So I know sometimes you want to use like ice cube the juke to try to trick people. Like, ice cube for a second and get something out of it. That's true, but remember, it's actually a long cooldown. It's one of the longer cooldowns in the game. But speaking about logistics, May attacks at the logistical level with wall. So look to disrupt enemies en route to where they want to go. Meaning, on point 3, when they come out of spawn, and there's the door up here, and then there's that main door, and then there's that little side route. You got a square thing here. We'll just consider this the main door. Side route's over here. Little room right here. Right, something like that. Like, you can wall people off when they get to their position, which is on the cart right here. But this is a little bit too late. Where you want to wall them off is here, like the main hallway, the other hallway. If they try to push up this way, you can wall them off behind them. Like, when they're trying to get to this point is where you want to wall them off beforehand. Walling them off when they get to the area they're at is less advantageous. It still works, but it's less advantageous. I'm talking about Route 66, third point at the start. So let's just go back to the video. Since everyone seems to be fucking dumb. Here we go. So here we go. So you have this choke point, this big choke point, and this smaller choke point. Now you're on offense right now, but let's speak defensively. If you were on the... Actually, why don't we just look at it defensively? We can do that. We have that ability. In fact, we have that exact situation right here. Perfect. So there's the door here. There's the door here. And there's the door here. Now, they want to get to this area. Now, walling people off once they get to the area they want to is less advantageous, right? There's just not much you can do with this area. You can try to section people off here, or like here, or like here. It still doesn't work as strong as it does when they're trying to get in here. So, as they try to move in through these choke points, this is when they're moving is logistics. That's when you wall them off. Either you wall them off, you wall one person that comes through, you wall off one person that comes through, or as they come up through this right side, and they come over here, you wall them off here, right? You can wall them off here. Here, all these choke points you want to wall them off at, but you just want to use your wall before they get to this area this is the point of, like, all this fighting that's going on right now is more or less meaningless. What they're trying to do is they're trying to push to this ground and then push from here. That's the whole point. Yeah, and all this positioning, all this posturing for space, all this damage that's getting done, this is just to try to push you back. I forget what actually happens. So you wall them off. Okay, yeah, this is good. But you see, this is all just about, it's about not killing people. It's just about people pushing people back so they can get this corner. This is all, to me, this is all logistics. Logistics, logistics, logistics. They're trying to push up to this corner and you just gotta stop them. Like, this is gonna be the easiest time to kill them. Alright, they at this point in time, they pretty much have the corner. You have to ult to get it back. As you can see, your wall right here, it's not gonna do too much. You'll get that one, but like the Widow can come, Widow and other classes can come up here, and the other classes are gonna start bleeding through on the right now. The wall's done. Like at this point, your team should have already been far, far back. You have to give up that corner. You guys get it back though with a couple ultimates. That's the one thing. Ultimates can overcome these less than advantageous places. But as your team fights for that corner at the corner, they start dying. Just because it's a bad place to fight. You have to give up the corner and then refight as they try to take it. Yeah. So that's when you want to attack in the logistics phase. We talked about action. Use the proper tool for the right job. Your positioning. Value your high ground more. Don't feel like you always have to sit on cart, offense, or defense. Logistics. Get to the high ground. Get to a little bit farther back. You don't have to commit so hard. You do have 20, like, the guy said in chat, 20 meters is May's fall off, which is pretty far. Actually really far. And then information. I don't think there's any informational stuff. I think all of your actions were kind of based on something correct. Well, maybe they weren't. So, what you value is just to stop people from fighting. Right? May is a shy girl. She doesn't want to fight. Just don't fight. And what I mean by that is, like on that second point, if you valued the high ground, you could have came up and you could have walled off everyone coming out of that little choke on that doorway. Right? But you sat on the cart. Definitely value the high ground more. Value trying to avoid the fight completely. And by avoiding the fight, I don't mean like running away. I mean like stopping people from fighting you. But during combat, your walls were spot on, I think. I think they were pretty good. For using walls in the middle of combat, which is a skill you need to get, you're doing quite well. I think your accuracy was actually quite well as well. So you're doing good. Yeah, I don't think you had any bad issues outside of trying to always do everything and not valuing high ground. Now, Mr. Gray, do you have any other questions? Are you still in chat, Gray? Aging Mr. Gray. You need to work on your positioning a bit further back. Yeah, I would say that's your... And, also, I think the big thing is don't feel like you have to do everything. I think that's actually the bigger decision-making thing, and I'd actually put that at an informational level that you have to get through your head. Don't overvalue the point. I'll just put CP, the capture point. it feels like you feel like you have to be the one stopping progress and you have to be the one pushing the cart, yada yada yada. Don't always feel like you have to do everything yourself. That's kind of the tank's job. And even if you don't have a tank, like May's tanky, but she's not tanky. Like you can stall for a bit, but if you're the only one on cart, you're still going to get your ass kicked. So this is actually what I would rather have you focus on, not trying to do everything at once, and then through not valuing like doing everything yourself, it should free up time for you to take the high ground and have better positioning. And that's kind of why like I focus on these lower levels first, because if I clear this issue up, you're going to have more time to favor the high ground. You're going to have more time at the high ground to make better walls and better shots. It's just it's like that. That's why the triangle works the way it does. And I seek to correct the bottom parts. Correcting the top parts is actually really different. Correcting the top parts is really stupid to me, because I gotta tell you to shoot better, which is a really shitty thing to say. So choose my job, do it well, and if others aren't on the point, that's how it is. Yeah. And if I know how it goes some games, I do scramble trying to kill what I can while trying to keep someone on the objective. I know I do have that habit. And just remember, your natural tendencies of favoring the point aren't wrong, Bill. They're just... you're doing it too much. Right? You're... when I say don't over-favor the point, I mean don't, like, sit on it 100% that it looks like you seem to do. Like, it's okay to do it, like, 70% of the time. I'm favor it a little bit less, and that should open you up to do more things. I wouldn't call it... it's not, like, a bad habit, but it can be. At some points, you have to stop favoring the point, and you have to fight and kill people, and then come back and take the point. But for your level... this is the thing, you're at a lower level, so don't think too in-depth about all this stuff. I just want to correct these bottom-level mistakes, these fundamental mistakes, and that should start correcting the rest of these over time. My corrections, so I guess we can actually go to, like, a little bit of a personal talk. When I do my corrections, my teaching comes from
My genius is finally recognized.
a art-light focus. Right, so... if you think about any art, there's no right or wrong answer. Now, you learn these rules over time, but then you kind of break these rules based on your creativity. It's your expression. And I see Overwatch as an art. Therefore, it's an expression of yourself. It is not a hard science where, like, A plus B equals C, and people want to sit down and they said, you did A wrong, you did B wrong, and you got C wrong, and this is how you fix everything, and they just give you all this information at once. Now, for a hard science, that's perfect, but for a game like this, it is absolutely shit, and that's why I hate actually, I've never seen an analyst or a coach in video games that I've liked. I just haven't. I just don't like them, because they all teach it like a hard science. You have to teach it like an art, which means I give you rules, and I fix these rules, like, hand in hand. I don't tell you something's right or tell you something wrong. It's not a top-down approach, where the teacher's up here and I say something's right and you're like, okay, that's right because you're better than me. No. I teach at an equal level where we hold you hand in hand, and I walk you on this path, and I'm just like, look, these are the pitfalls I have fallen into in my experience. Watch out for them. Now, if you want to jump in the pitfall, I'll just be like, hey, I'll hold your hand, go in that pitfall, and I'll help you out, and you'll be like, well, you were right about that pitfall. I've learned something. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Sometimes you just got to learn it yourself. You know, I try to tell you about that pitfall, and I'll tell you the teacher that taught me and his pitfalls, and that's how we educate ourselves throughout time as humans. Sometimes the student does have to jump in these fucking pitfalls, and you're like, hey, come on out. Like, I just keep you on the right direction, and that's why I correct people at an informational level. If I correct these bottom levels, instead of correcting every, like, fucking little thing, like, if I give you 50 things to fix, you're never going to fix a goddamn one of them. If I give you one thing to fix, maybe you'll fix it, but holy shit, if I fix your bottom level, everything else goes fucking perfect. So when I tell you to, when I teach you, I expect you to come back. And that's not like a gimmick. That's not like a fucking scam where I'm like, I got you. You got to come back to get all the right information. No. It's because I have to correct you over time, and I have to keep on correcting these things, and hopefully I correct the bottom one. So while you may grow all crooked, I keep correcting the bottom ones, and you may grow crooked, and you may grow crooked, but you're still growing up. And then you may grow crooked, and then finally, like, your fundamentals are right, and then you can fix these things by yourself, but your fundamental knowledge is solid. And that's how I teach. And I know a lot of people hate what I do and how I do it, but it's the best way to do it for an art. It is not, too many people are doing this fad right now called logistics, and not logistics, logic. They're like, well, that doesn't make logical sense. It says, I make logical sense, I am in the right, and I can be an asshole about it and still be correct. And I'm like, nah, you're just an asshole, man. Yeah, it's not all about being logic. It's not all about logic and analysis. It's an art, so there's feeling to it, and you have to, there's more to it. It's not just yelling at someone that they're right or wrong. It's helping them hand in hand, writing the fundamentals of it and getting you in the correct path, and then you will discover that path yourself. Because in the end, I can't show you the end goal. I can only show you the path. I have to walk you on that path. Eventually, you're going to walk on your own. My job is to be useless, essentially. The teacher's job is to eventually not be needed, and you become better than me. That's my entire goal. If anyone's a coach or an analyst or a teacher, and they don't want you better than themselves, they're fucking wrong. They're wrong. The teacher's job is to act as a fucking stone for you to step on. Like that. I act as a stone so you can become better than me. That's the whole idea of teaching. So, sorry to go off on that tangent, but a lot of people, like, whenever I ever post these user reviews, everyone gives me so much shit. And it's just like, fuck off, right? Fuck them. Yeah. So yeah. So back to here. That's why I'm fixing you down here, man. All this stuff up here gets fixed by itself. In all honesty, this will get fixed up. So yeah. What's the final about that one? Oh yeah, don't think like you have to do everything. Ease your mind. I know it's super easy to think that you have to do everything, but that's how you lose. You can't do everything. You're only human. So are there any other questions? Also, I think I missed a sub. Seaweeds! I apologize. Thank you for the 2-month subscription. With all that said, I appreciate taking the time. I'll try to keep this all in mind in my future games. Don't try to think all of it in mind. Just worry about the basic level. I will attach you, or I will correct you over time. If I sent a scrim diamond level, would you review it? I mean, I would review it. Do you want me to review it like as a team type deal or as an individual performance type deal? With May, would it be better to stay mobile and moving or find a nice little spot to fuck everyone up? If you find the choke point, May is a little bit of a different thing where if you can find a spot with May and just if you know they're going to come through this choke point and you can wall this off, then do it. It changes map on map. Usually street phases, you're going to have to... I believe in general, street phases, you have to be more mobile. The last point you can be of a game over a map, you can be more static. And the first point can be a little bit of both. At least that's how I feel the game goes right now. You think I would improve greatly if you had a team, even if you were all just diamond? I think... Yeah, I mean, understanding how teams work and understanding a role and doing that role is good to learn from. But just remember, in the public play, like pubs, which I can consider the competitive ladder is a pub, you're not going to get all that. Man, everyone won't shut the fuck up about Storm's review. Like team-wise. Yeah, Matchu, you can send that my way. Just say it in the comments. Because if you don't, I won't remember to do it. The Liege, thank you. Fucking A. The Liege, you are spot on. So much better than your Overwatch style, which is totally analytical. There is only one way, and if you don't follow that way, you are stupid and all condescending. It is really annoying. That is 100% correct. That is the wrong way to approach teaching in Overwatch. Would you have to send multiple POVs? No, just do one, and I'll do my best at trying to figure it out. Also, yeah, I guess Progressive is asking me to do this. There is Team Chro. Number 2. So, Progressive runs the first team. The second team kind of imploded within the first week. We just had the wrong people for it. Things just didn't work out. You know, that's life. So we're looking for new members and seeing how all that goes. So if you want to play on a 6-team, a sixes type team, and you're 3,000 rank or lower, then contact Progressive on Discord. Have I tried to do anything like with Skyline? No. I don't like what Skyline, man, I don't like talking bad about the guy, because Skyline, the way he presents his media is amazing. He is a very good, he has a very good way of getting information to the people, but it's his information that I disagree with on very slightly. A lot of the stuff he says is correct, but it's not fully correct. That's the nicest way I can put it. Contact Progressive or the team captain. Contact Progressive, and then he will put you in talk with who needs to know about it.
Ah, aiming's overrated.
Hatchkin, you know, it's weird. I used to watch a bunch of other coaches, and they all threw information out. It was so specific, it was hardly useful.
Aiming's overrated.
Fucking wrecked. It's nice to have a coach who thinks about the bigger picture. So thanks, Chro. No problem, man. That's what I do. Big picture. Big picture. Big fun. Big money. Big women. Big picture. No, Progressive, they're going to contact you. You brought this upon yourself. Contact Progressive. What did Skyline do wrong? He doesn't do anything wrong. He just, it reminds me of, like, an above-average person's idea of what a master is. That's the only way I can explain. It's a very weird feeling I get from the guy. Like, he talks and it's, like, 90% correct, and there's just, like, this 10% little bit I don't agree with. But for the most part, he has good information, and he delivers it in a fucking great way. He is great at that production value stuff. Will Progressive match you with your best home and life insurance? He will. Yeah, after you tell Progressive you want to get on Team Chro, have him help you with your life insurance. He will definitely help you with that. He's helped me with mine, and I've saved 15%. It's amazing. Metchu, I would have to see your review. I'd have to see your video and correct you. But if you tell me you're being super aggressive and you're not getting a lot out of it, then don't be so aggressive.